Hello, everyone. Welcome to my little show, The Other People's Show. Friday, December 29th, 2023. And in my neck of the woods, where we are now, it is snowing outside. It's cold. 30 degrees. Not my kind of weather at all. But I am very glad and very appreciative to everyone tuning in tonight. Doing things a little different tonight. We are in a different studio, but we're doing a show nonetheless. Thank you for the bottom of my heart for tuning in. So, like I said on the last show, if you're interested in any of the things that we've done, I'll talk about this in just a moment. Over 100 shows. 100 shows in 2023. Either this is show 100, or if not, I'm going to have to do a show tomorrow to be 100. But we're getting to 100. And we couldn't have gotten to 100 shows in 2023 without you, the listener, the audience. But like I said, it is Friday, December 29th, and you are listening to The Other People's Show. Hello, everyone out there. Now, Christmas is over, and to me, it feels like, it got here quickly. It happened. It's gone quickly. It happened Monday. We're now on a Friday. What the hell is happening with time? It's going by so quickly, a blink of an eye, and it's gone. Now, I know that you hear when you're younger, time goes by slower because you have less things to compare it to as when you're older. And that's where I'm kind of feeling now. But I don't know. It could be because, days are going by so quickly because, constant things going on. Never a dull moment. Never a time to sit back and relax. And that's the way that I like for it to be. Now, I'm not sure how you all did the Christmas, but I had a very low-key Christmas. It was very, it was good. It was very quiet, very low-key, family-oriented, and not a lot of exchanging of the gifts between me and others. Because not that I don't believe in that, because I do. I don't have a problem with that. But this year, I was going to do things a little bit different. I was going to do things, some say cheap. I don't say cheap. I say frugal. I was having a frugal Christmas. And that's what I expect people to think about when I was doing it. That Adam's not being cheap. Because another reason is, what more do you want? What more can you get? How much is enough? I love DVDs. Even though I don't have a DVD player, do I need people to still be buying them for me? No. I don't need them to buy it for me anymore because I have them. And I don't need anything else. What do I need from you? I need a sponsor for the show. I would like someone to help me answer phones. Maybe be a producer on the show. Maybe hire me at in a bigger southern city that's warm, like Savannah. Things like that. Things that can't be given. So therefore, I can't be given a gift. I'm not going to be giving you a gift. I'm only kidding. Kind of. No, I think I'm kidding. But yeah, it was a good not Thanksgiving. It was a good Christmas. It just seems like it wasn't long ago that it was Thanksgiving. I watched the movie Thanksgiving twice. But what did you get? Did you get some good gifts? I did get my nieces 2 gifts. One of them have yet to arrive. But the one was kind of like this magnetic. They like puzzles and creative type things where you can build, make things out of clay, puzzles, things like that. So I got my little niece. I'm not really sure, to be honest, which gift goes to which niece, because they're sisters. But pretty much the gist of what I got was some kind of magnetic blocks that can be built and made into different shapes and things. I saw like a castle. One was like a school, the buildings, maybe a school bus with square wheels. I don't know. And then the other was some kind of origami thing where I just know that's what my mother had said that they'd wanted. I went and ordered two things relatively quickly, and that was it. That was all. No one else. I didn't even get myself anything, and I usually get myself something every single year. Now, last year I broke the tradition as well. I didn't get myself anything. I think that was only in my 20s when I got myself something every year. I don't think when I've gotten older that I've done that. I don't think I've really done that at all. But yeah, I'd gotten to the point where there were so many gifts to give out. Always people wanting gifts. People needing gifts. People expecting gifts. Gifts. Somebody's birthday. It's Valentine's Day. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's Flag Day. It's grandmother's birthday. It's Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. It's Thanksgiving. It's Halloween. It's summer solstice. It's 4th of July. It's always something. It's always something wanting you to give and give and give. When's enough? When is enough? I'm wondering if there is such a thing as enough. Maybe there is. Regift. That's what you should do. I know someone that has so many gifts, and they've gotten gifts over the years. Gifts that they don't even need. Gifts that they don't even use. Gifts that aren't even open. They have a spare room, and they put all the gifts that they've gotten over the years in this spare room. And it's not like a bedroom. I don't want you to think it's like the size of a bedroom, but it's not the size of a small little closet either. I mean, you couldn't put a bed in there, but you could put probably several things in there. At least probably 15 to 25 gifts, even people. So every time this person has some kind of something to go to, weddings, that's another place you have to get a gift. Like the registry. They just go back in that room, find a gift that might be appropriate for the occasion, and give it to said event. Give it to said people. That's why I don't give gifts. I'm that person. I do have a room, not that big of a room. And I have gifts that people have given me over the years that I have never used. It's clothing, shoes, socks, hats, noisemakers. A little thing where it's like a little device and you push little buttons on, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. And then there's a microphone. Little microphone. And things like that. And we've got the phone ringing. So we don't want that to happen, do we? Not during the show. So what else can you do? There's nothing really that you can do. Just don't give any gifts. That's what I'm going to do from now on. No more gifts. But last year I did give a lot of gifts. I did give a lot of gifts out, and I am glad that everyone had a good Christmas. And I do hope that you had a good Christmas. There's no reason that you shouldn't. And hopefully that's not the case at all. But there were, I'm going to go through a few of the best. The new year is upon us. It's coming upon us. This old year is in the past. You can't do anything about things that are in the rear view mirror, or as Hootie and the Blowfish like to say, the cracked rear view. So what's behind you is pretty much what's going to be behind you. You can only move forward. And this is the time where you do reflect back over this past year. You do reflect back over the accomplishments, over the things you've achieved, the goals that you've achieved. Maybe you've made some new relationships, let go of some bad ones. Maybe you have changed jobs, prospered more, or not as much as you had wanted to. This is the time of year where that can be changed. This is the time of year where it's time to, and I don't like to use the word resolution, but this is the time to make those changes necessary to make your life the life that you want to have. Because why would you want to continue to have a life, living a life that you don't like? Would you want to continue living a life that it's not anything that you want anything to have to do with? You dread getting up in the morning. You're sad. You're depressed. You hate things. You're going to a job that you dislike. You don't have any friends. You have toxic friends. All the things that you can change, you should try to change them to make your life better. And you can't do them all at one time. There's several things that I am going to change in this coming new year. I'm going to stop smoking as much. I've let that become a part of my life that I never thought that I would allow something like that to seep in and kind of in a way control some of the things that I've done over the last couple of years. I'm not extremely happy or proud of that, but what can I do at this point? I can make the changes to slowly wean myself off to better myself. And then after those changes, I can gauge and be like, okay, this change has helped this way. Maybe it's not helped the way that I wanted. Engage it from that point. But I saw something today, and it's something that's always said, is that insanity is continuously doing the same thing over and over and hoping for a different outcome. And that's a lot of the things that I've done personally. It's been insanity. Insanity! And that this is another thing. It's insane to drink the Red Bull drinks. As I sit here drinking a tropical Red Bull drink. Now, the reason that I do have this tropical Red Bull drink is because that's one of my least favorite flavors of it, and I'm trying to quit drinking those. I had made a vow, and I upheld the vow not to drink any alcohol for 30 days, and I did that. But during that time of not drinking alcohol, I picked up back drinking of the Red Bull. And now I'm going to wean myself off of that, and this will hopefully be the last Red Bull you will see me drink for quite some time. Hopefully forever. Hopefully after this one, no more. Because not only are they bad for you, they're expensive too. I mean, it's a waste of money. It's just an outright waste of money. Exercise more. Exercise is something that's always been a very big part of my life ever since I was a young person. Definitely, exercise has been in the cards. And of the last year or so, I've not been able to exercise as much as I would have wanted to, and that's due to me honestly. Honestly, for a while, I guess it was just due to not. I don't want to say not motivated, but if I wanted to go exercise, I would do it. You do what you want to do. What you have time to do and can make time for is what you want to do. And apparently I truly deep down didn't want to go to the gym and improve myself. So I chose to do other things. And now I'm getting back into the mindset of I want to do the healthy things for my mind and my body and exercising more, whether it's going to the gym, continuing to do the stomach crunches and donkey kicks, putting in a little, little weights and things like that, doing yoga, doing some meditation, eating healthier, drinking more water, cut out the energy drinks. All that fits into the exercising motif of 2024 that I'm going to do. And I think you all should do something similar that would benefit your all's life as well. I'm going to also be more understanding and compassionate in this new year. Compassion is something that I often demonstrate and show to only myself, meaning that I cry or show a lot of emotions, and a lot of the times it's just within the comfort of my own self, sitting in the car a lot of the time. It's not that I don't want to show emotion or I think it's weak, because I don't think that. I've had breakdowns on this show multiple times. I've cried several times on the show. I almost cried earlier this morning when I was picking up a friend. I wasn't in a sad mood, but sometimes the music does just take a hold. It really does. But I am going to be more understanding, helpful, and compassionate. Instead of sighing or like, oh God, this again, I'm going to try to understand where that other person is coming from. Because if they're reaching out, maybe they do need my time or help or compassion or understanding. And that's something, I've been up and down on that throughout my life. Sometimes I've been extremely understanding and compassionate, and I always try to be helpful. But sometimes it doesn't come across as that. It may come across as stern or mean or unhelpful. And I'm going to try to see where I've made the mistakes and try to do things differently. Just in like an episode of Seinfeld where George does everything opposite of what he would normally do, and his life starts getting better. I'm going to, in a way, try to incorporate that into my everyday life as well. So 2023, I was going through the movies that have come out. And, 2023 wasn't the best year for movies. I mean, there were some good ones that came out that I'm going to name, some of my favorites. But it wasn't like back in the 90s and even the mid 2000s, even the last 8 years before now, where a slew of movies came out. And that's due to COVID changed how movies are watched. They're streamed more than watched now. And a lot of the blockbuster movies aren't blockbusters anymore. Aquaman failed. The Willy Wonka is doing so business. And the love for the movie theater and the culture that, it was like this pop culture thing, juggernaut. And it's not that anymore. TikTok and Instagram and X and all these social medias have taken over the huge slice of the pie that was the movie theater going public. But it is still, to me, very special to go watch a movie in the theater. And that's the goal of every filmmaker, is to have their film play in a theater. The movie that they actually really got to make, to play in a theater and have others enjoy it it's an amazing feeling. But let's go through a couple of the best movies of 2023. I've got the best runner-up and worth checking out. Now, these aren't in any kind of an order. These were just kind of, as I was going through what came out this year, just some that kind of stood out to me. So I'll get on with it. X and Pearl, those were both pretty good horror films that came out in the earlier part of the year. and they both have the same characters. Some violence. One's like more of a 70s throwback, and then Pearl is the same character but years later, and it's taken in a different direction. So I'm not going to give away too much on those because those are relatively new films. Well, all these are, to be honest with you. And we've not talked about either one of those on Real Talk, and that could be a movie of the future as well. Dream Scenario, saw that a few weeks ago. I think that was the last film I saw in theaters. It's a superb Nicolas Cage film where he is somehow he winds up in everyone's dreams, and his character has to deal with the aftermath of becoming an overnight viral sensation / nightmare. It's a good role for Nicolas Cage. He's back into the mainstream, like with Reinfeld and Dream Scenario, both coming into the theater this week. And he has another movie that's in the top 10 on Netflix where he has long, like gray hair. I can't recall what it's called, but it's on there. And a movie that Casey and I talked about early in the year when we were only doing the internet only version of Real Talk, and that is Infinity Pool, directed by Brandon Cronenberg, which is son of David Cronenberg of like The Fly, History of Violence, the Crash, things like this. Infinity Pool would probably be my favorite movie of 2023. Saw this movie back in January, so it came out very early on in the year, and it stayed my favorite throughout the year. Runners up, we'll briefly talk about those. We've got, I think Megan was a good PG-13 film, and it was cool. It did a good job. It was thrilling. It wasn't really a horror movie, traditionally speaking, but I thought it had some thrills. It had some cool sights. It was original, I thought, kind of, I don't want to say taking the reign from Chucky, but in a similar kind of vein, I guess you could say. But they did a really good job with that. You've got Scream 6, which now looks like Scream 7's in heavy jeopardy. But Scream 6 was a nice little throwback. Obviously not nearly as good as the first two original Screams, but can you get as good as they were? I don't know. I don't think so. Rainfield, that's a nice little Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult comedy that came out back in the spring. In its way, it's Nicolas Cage's take on Dracula. So, and then the Eli Roth, Patrick Dempsey starring Thanksgiving. None of these movies of the runner-up will set anything on fire or will make you be agape with amazement, but they're all fun, entertaining movies that can take you out of your everyday life for maybe an hour and a half or so. And also a couple of movies that are worth checking out. You've got Beau is Afraid, which is a very confusing, some say pretentious, Ari Aster, not River Phoenix, but why is his name going blank? He's Joaquin Phoenix starring movie. You've got The Sound of Freedom, which was a very popular movie this summer starring Jim Caviezel. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I saw it on the marquee, and I was like, I've never heard of this. And then I looked it up, and it had made $15 million the first day. And The Sound of Freedom had actually outgrossed movies such as Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, and the latest Mission Impossible movie. And then you also have The Killer, which just came out a few weeks ago on Netflix. So those are a couple of films worth checking out of 2023. But yeah, it has been I got to be honest, 2023 has been a tough year. It's been one of the toughest years of my life. It could have been, honestly, the worst year of my life. But that's not to say there weren't good parts in the movie, because not movie, but life, my life, your life. Our lives are movies. There's some good parts. There's some bad parts, and there's a lot of in between and up and down. But we can change that. And if you get into the right space, you've got to make the right space. You've got to make those changes. You've got to want to make those changes to better yourself, better your life, help others, and have a fulfilling life. That's what gets me a lot of the times. Having a life that is full and well-rounded and enjoyable. Because we're only here a little while. So why would you want to be here and not enjoy the life that you've been given? It's not always that easy, and I know that. It's the little moments in between that are what's difficult to navigate. Just those little tiny moments. We're going to be changing quite a few things in the new year. We're going to be taking some calls in the new year. The format is basically going to be pretty much the same as we're doing now. But we're going to be more interactive. We're going to be taking some calls, doing some street segments, going out on the town, other places as well. Having some more musicians, some other friends in studio. And it's going to be 2024 or 2024 is going to be a fantastic year for you. A fantastic year for me. And it's going to be a fantastic year for creatively for everyone that's into that, for this show and all the other shows that are out there trying to make it happen. So I know Casey has a new show coming out this new year. I know Anthony Wayne has something coming up, I think tomorrow night, a live stream. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Check out the local stuff as well. Also check out all of our social media pages. That's the Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram. And I might be back tomorrow night with the 100th show. But this might be the 100th show. I have to count and see. I'm not 100% certain. So I'll find out. You all have a good night. And thank you for making this past year a success as far as the show goes. You all have a good night.